Alright, guys, I hope you're high with me. And that noise you just heard, I don't know how well it came through the mic, was me opening one of Samuel Adams' new Nitro beers. It's a beer they came out with that is instead of carbonated, like every drink you've ever had, like soft drink has been carbonated, like any beer, soda, what else carbonated? You know, club soda, tonic water, stuff like that, all carbonated. Well, this isn't carbonated; it's nitronated. It's got NO2 in it, nitrous oxide, the same stuff that goes into like racing vehicles, and that's what they infused it with. So it doesn't like bloat you. It's like a whole different thing, and the way it pours and it bubbles is completely different than the way a carbonated drink bubbles. So it's pretty cool. And they come in a few different flavors. I've tried the coffee stout and the white ale, and this video isn't about a beer, but I am a big beer guy. And if anyone out there is a big beer guy and would like to try this, if you like an IPA or like a, a more bitter beer, um, a white Belgium, stuff like that, then y'all would probably like this. But if you're just a casual beer drinker, just drink a Bud Light or a Blue Moon, maybe a Corona or something, and you don't like that bitter, dark lager beer kind of thing, probably not for you. But this kind of turned into like a flippin' beer review real quick. I just got done pouring it into my glass because I always drink the nitro beers out of a glass because it's too cool not to. That you can see them fizzing. But anyways, this is gonna be a bit of a longer video, as you can already tell, and this is just my outtake on music. And I'm basically gonna start with my history of music and just go through that, and just tell you my opinions and why I like this and what I think of that and all that. So let me take a sip of beer real quick. And of course, I'm also pretty high. Came off three bowls of Kiev, like on this Kiev streak. I know. Um, anyways, I started really well. Even go farther back, my mom, when I was a little kid, played '80s music like Bon Jovi, some Elvis, Hotel California, that kind of stuff. And there was this one song that talked about traveling the world. Yeah, I've traveled the world and seen the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. I love that song because that song was like so mysterious to me. I forget who it's by, but anyways, when I first really started getting into music was about fifth, sixth grade, and of course, I think every little kid almost goes through this stage of just like liking rap exclusively. Like I was a big Snoop Dogg fan, and this was back when I'm So Hood was coming out, and T Pain came out with Buy You a Drink, um, Shot Boys Party Like a Rock Star, all that kind of stuff. I was big into that, and I still even go back to that. Not as much. I'm not a big rap fan as Mel, but I still go back to those old school rap songs as well because I like them. New school rap, it's a whole different story. But from there, I continued into I like started listening to Disturbed. My cousin got me into Disturbed, and I really like Disturbed because my music choice tends to be like kind of darker from now on. I like the darker music that talks about murder and issues and psychological issues and that kind like the mysterious darker music. So still a big Disturbed fan. I still listen to all their songs. I'm an even bigger David Draymond fan. I really like David Draymond. And from there I got into Breaking Benjamin, Godsmack. I never really liked Korn that much. A little bit of what's that song? Gosh, I can't remember. I'm about to pull it up. It's gonna kill me if I don't pull it up. I'm sorry, y'all. So I am looking. Yeah, Hypotonize, and I really like some of their songs. But yeah, like I said, I stayed away from Korn, Godsmack, Breaking Benjamin. Eventually, I got into Evanescence, and there became a point in my life where I would really get into one song, and that would be my favorite song. I'd listen to it a lot, and then I'd move on, and then like if I listened to that old song that used to be my favorite, it brought back memories of when I was listening to that song. So if I was like dating a girlfriend, like I could really attach a song to her. So when we broke up, like I would go back to this song. It would really kind of affect me, especially if I was heartbroken over her, that kind of stuff. So music to me, like, also relates back to memories. And that's when music completely changed for me. When music related back to memories in my life, and like I said, I was sticking to the darker music. I got into Evanescence, and then what other bands? Bullet for My Valentine. I started to get into Bullet for My Valentine. I never went too hardcore screamo because I didn't like that Job for a Cowboy stuff and all that. Um, I continued to go on to country. Um, got into high school, started getting into country, and just it was your modern day basic, you know, basic square country like Luke Bryan, Florida Georgia Line, just Jason Aldean, your cookie cutter country music singers, which they're just like the big hit thing. And I still listen to the music. I still like it. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in as well as to what music I listen to. But I don't. I find country music very tasteless. It's very shallow. Like there's no underlining meaning. And I find the same thing with rap. And what's even worse about country is 50%, 40% of the songs talk about drinking, the other 40 talk about girls, and then you got like 10%, 20% of country music that's about anything else. It's girls and drinking. That's the only two things they know. So it's really cookie cutter, and that's why I like and don't like country music. So I know that's kind of confusing, and we're already 6 minutes into the video. I got a little more to go as well. So then I started getting into older school country. Your Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Hank Jr., Merle Haggard. You can kind of classify Gary Allan Coe and what's the George Strait. But yeah, and Johnny Cash, still hardcore Johnny Cash fan. I really like these songs, and they're a lot more diverse like than modern day country music. Like these founding fathers of country, I I really liked it. They had an underlying meaning to the song, and they had experienced more of life. It wasn't just about drinking and girls, and I really liked it because some of them were about about heartbreak. I think this is kind of where country music at its whole sad theme to it. Like a lot of a lot of shows and stuff make this satire comedy about country music being sad and the puppies dying and the mamas dying, whatever. But, from there, I kind of started to get into stuff like Hoyser, Take Me to Church, because that brought back the aspect of the darker music, kind of like the Disturbed. It reminded me of the Disturbed, the Breaking Benjamin, but it wasn't as hardcore. It was more mellow and kind of soft tune and gayish, to say. And I started getting into that, Take Me to Church and Hoyser, and that led me to stuff like it's on the tip of my tongue. Give me a second. Let me pull up my Pandora. This will help me out. Sorry about this. Milky Chance, that's one of them, and all that kind of stuff. So that more lovey dovish, happy, stoner, kind of sad music. People that aren't they feel like they're not completely understood and stuff like that, and they kind of have gaps missing in their life or tragic events. That kind of music. And this beer is so much better when I'm high. It's great. Um, and I really got into that. And sorry, I got really sidetracked. My Take Me to Church radio. I'm just gonna look at a few bands on it, so I can. Oh, here we go. Hungry Like the Wolf is one I heard when I was a little kid with my mom by Duran Duran. And I loved that as a kid, and it wasn't until literally like within the last few months I heard it while listening to my Take Me to Church radio station, and I like it. I didn't understand everything as a kid when I liked it, but I kind of still like the same thing about it. I like the tone of it, the beat, the way the music flows. Sorry, I had to listen to the intro. Gosh, I hate to skip that. Mad World by Gary Jules. All these songs that actually have a deeper underlying meaning. Like, for example, there's still some Disturbed songs I listen to today, and I've been listening to Disturbed since I was in sixth grade, and now I'm a sophomore in college. So that is 4, 5, 6, about 7 years. And to this day, I'm still figuring out what some Disturbed songs are like. Going up, looking the lyrics up, listening to interviews with David Draymond, the writer of the song, as what he was thinking the meaning of the song was, what the song means to him, and the underlying meaning. Looking up definitions of these words and actually interpreting these songs as to what they mean. And that's what like. You can't do that with country. That's what I really like about this darker music. Like, there's an underlying meaning to the song. These these are metaphors. It's kind of like poetry almost, and I really like that aspect of music. And that led me into Hoyser. One reason I really like Hoyser is Hoyser seemed to have a drug addiction himself, and definitely had a loved one that had a drug addiction. It seemed like heroin was their addiction, and he sings about that, his this heroin, and how it is, and how it affects people and stuff like that. And it's just a real, that's the darker side of it. And Hoyser never says what the song means to him, because he always wants to leave it up to interpretation. So that goes to show like how one song can mean 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people. So that's just kind of my outtake on music, and there's not really anything else in the world like music that's accepted, other than maybe sex and drinking water. Like, music is so widely loved. No, I mean, beer is not even that widely loved as music. I can't think of anything that's as widely loved as music that's like man created. But that's just a little food for thought, guys. I appreciate y'all listening. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. I want to see how many people actually like these longer videos. But till next time, I'm out.